looks over the Serengeti. The first light of day stretches across rippling waves of golden grass, shimmering like the sea. A gentle breeze drifts by, carrying the scent of dry earth and wild grasses. Above, the vast sky glows a deep blue, dotted with wisps of white clouds, slowly dissolving after the night. Each year, more than 1.5 million wildebeest, along with hundreds of thousands of zebras and Thompson's gazelles, set out on a journey known as the Great Migration. A massive loop stretching nearly 1,600 kilometers, repeated for countless millennia. It is a quest for water, for fresh grass, for life itself. Yet, at the same time, a confrontation with death. No other event on this continent affects so many species. The migration not only sustains the massive herds themselves, but also nourishes the entire Serengeti, from lions hidden in the tall grass, to vultures circling above, from crocodiles lying in wait in the Mara River, to the very grasslands that regrow after each passing wave of animals. All of it depends on this rhythm, an ancient rhythm as old as the very heartbeat of the savannah. Listen closely, and you'll hear it. The Serengeti has a breath of its own, the whisper of wind sweeping through the grass, the pounding hooves of tens of thousands, the growls of predators on the hunt, all blending together, forming a living symphony. Today we follow the wildebeest herd through the most brutal stretch of their journey, the crossing of the Mara River. But before we reach that moment, take in this quiet scene, the dawn of the Serengeti. Because once the sun has risen, the migration will erupt, and these plains will transform into a surging ocean of life, unstoppable and relentless. Get ready. The greatest survival journey on Earth is about to begin. The sun climbs higher, casting its blazing light across the Serengeti plains. But instead of abundance, we see long cracks snaking through the earth. The soil is so parched, it splits apart into fragments, as if the entire savanna has just endured a fierce thirst. This is the dry season. Rivers shrink back, leaving behind only murky puddles where animals crowd together for their final sips of water. The fresh grass is gone, replaced by brittle, lifeless stalks. The very air itself seems to hang heavy, stifling, and breathless. In these days, every breath is a struggle. Every step feels heavy. Yet deep within, a call resounds, a call no creature can resist. It is the call of the rain. Far to the north, hundreds of kilometers away, the first rains of the season have begun to fall. Raindrops soak the earth, and from it, fresh green grass springs to life, a promise of renewal. The wildebeest don't need to see the rain. Their instincts tell them all they need to know. The time to move has come. And so they gather, forming great herds. At first, just a few dozen, then hundreds, then thousands, an ocean of life moving as one. From above, we see dark streams of animals flowing steadily across the golden plains. This is not chaos. It is an unseen order, an ancient rhythm. And they do not travel alone. Alongside the wildebeest are their companions, zebras and Thomson's gazelles. Different in shape, different in grazing habits, yet together they form a colossal caravan. Zebras feed on the taller grasses above, clearing the way for the wildebeest to reach the tender shoots beneath. This symbiosis allows both species to survive side by side. But why must they migrate? The answer is simple and brutal: water and food. Nothing more, nothing less. Meanwhile, to the north, new grasslands await. This is why the Great Migration repeats every year, never missing a beat. Like the hands of a clock striking true, the wildebeest set out when the land and sky give their signal. They march not by choice, but by the command of life itself. Yet the price to be paid is brutally high. Along the path ahead, countless individuals will not survive. Some will fall prey to hunters, some will collapse from exhaustion, and some will be swept away by raging waters. And yet, these very losses become the lifeblood of others. The survival of one species is bound to the end of another, a harsh, eternal law of nature.
But you're still here. One more breath, one more round. You come too far to back down now. Dig deep, stand tall. No fear, no mercy. This is the grind, this is the moment. Showing what you're made of.
The herd begins to stir, like a wave on the verge of breaking. In the eyes of the young flickers fear, while in the mothers every step lies a taut, unspoken tension. But there is no turning back. The river of migration sweeps everything forward, transforming each life into a single note in the harsh symphony of fate. Look to the distance, where dark clouds gather, heralding rain. That is the destination. And here, in this dying land of drought, the wildebeest take their first steps, beginning a 1,600-kilometer journey. It is a journey with no promise of safety, a journey where every moment is fraught with tension, where the line between life and death is constantly intertwined, fragile as a single thread. But that is the secret of the Serengeti. To survive, every living being must keep moving. The thunder of hooves rises, blending with clouds of dust swirling upward. The wildebeest have left the parched land behind, beginning their march north. Endless lines stream forward, like living rivers flowing across the plains. From afar, we see dark ribbons winding across the land, stretching endlessly over the dry, golden earth. This is more than movement. It is one of the greatest caravans on the planet, millions of lives marching in the same direction, bound together by a shared destiny. And yet, from the very first steps, danger lurks ahead. In the thickets, golden eyes gleam in the shadows. Lions, the undisputed rulers of the plains, lie in wait. For them, the migration is nothing less than a grand feast, prey delivered to their doorstep. Just one calf separated from its mother, or a weakened straggler left behind, is all it takes to become a victim in an instant. When a lioness suddenly bursts forth, the wildebeest herd erupts into a wave of chaos. A roar echoes, hooves thunder, and dust billows high into the sky. In that fleeting moment, life and death are separated by only a breath. The lucky escape, the weaker fall. Yet as soon as the hunt is over, the herd swiftly regroups, moving on as if nothing had happened. Because to stop, even for an instant, means death. It isn't only lions lying in wait on the ground. High above, vultures circle, dark specks spiraling in the sky like omens of death. The moment a creature collapses from exhaustion, the flock will descend, turning it into a feast in an instant. When night falls, danger takes on a new form. Hyenas, the seasoned hunters of the dark, begin to close in around the herd. In the shadows, their eerie laughter echoes, shattering the silence. Unlike lions, they don't need speed. They rely on persistence, stalking their prey until exhaustion claims it. And so, the Serengeti night becomes a strange symphony. The thunder of hooves, the cries of lost calves, mingling with the ghostly howls of predators. Even when no predator is stalking them, the path of migration is still laden with danger. By day, temperatures can soar past 40 degrees Celsius, the ground scorching like burning coals. The calves, unaccustomed to such a brutal journey, easily succumb to exhaustion. Mothers wait patiently for their young, but at times, patience itself cannot withstand the searing thirst and gnawing hunger. And yet, sometimes it is panic itself that becomes the invisible killer. All it takes is a single frightened animal, and the entire herd will erupt, surging forward like a furious wave. In that chaotic stampede, the weaker ones and the calves are easily swept under, crushed beneath thousands of pounding hooves. The migration sustains the herd as a whole, but it is merciless to those who cannot keep up. Strangely, amid all this harshness, the wildebeest still move with a peculiar rhythm. They march as if guided by an unseen force. No leader commands, no voice gives orders, yet all move in the same direction, in the same cadence. It is instinct, etched deep within them for hundreds of thousands of years. At times, amid the brutal journey, we see calves collapsing in exhaustion, gently urged forward by their mother's horns. Some mothers, though barely able to carry on themselves, push through a few more miles, just so their young can keep pace with the herd. Within this harsh and unforgiving picture, a sudden light emerges, the resilient tenderness of motherhood. Day after day, the herd trudges onward, leaving hundreds of kilometers behind them. Yet ahead, far greater and fiercer trials await. In the distance, where dark clouds gather, a colossal obstacle lies in wait, the Mara River. It is not the widest, not the longest, but it is the most treacherous crossing of the entire journey. Every step leads toward it, and every life must face its trial. To reach the green pastures of the north, the wildebeest must cross this river. But waiting there, hidden for so long, are the predators, biding their time for the moment the herd descends. The journey has only just begun, but ahead, the trials will be far more brutal. Before the weary herd, after hundreds of kilometers, a colossal challenge emerges: the Mara River. At first glance, the river is only a few dozen meters wide, nothing compared to Africa's great waterways. But to the wildebeest, it looms like a towering wall of water, blocking the path to survival. The current surges, twisting and churning. Muddy waters drag along fallen branches, with hidden rocks lurking beneath. And more terrifying than all of this, the Nile crocodiles. They have been waiting here for weeks. Instinct tells them the wildebeest will come sooner or later. Long, motionless shadows drift silently just beneath the surface. Golden eyes break the water, watching coldly. This is the moment they wait for all year, the great feast of the migration. On the southern bank, tens of thousands gather. Calls echo, hooves pound the ground until it trembles. Yet none dare take the first step. Instinct tells them, this river holds more than just swift water. The air grows thick with tension. Bleeding calls echo. Hooves drum harder against the earth. Pressure from behind builds with every moment. Those at the front, though they wish to stop, have no way back. And then suddenly, one leaps into the water. One suddenly plunges into the river. In an instant, the herd behind seems compelled to follow, surging in all at once. Water splashes violently, mixing with frantic cries, creating a scene of fierce, chaotic turmoil. In that moment, it becomes a race against the current. From the depths, crocodiles surge upward, sending shockwaves that spread panic through the herd. Each violent thrash is a brutal test of the wildebeest's endurance. Yet within the chaos lies a remarkable force, the power of the herd. Together they surge forward, forming a massive current, pushing one another ahead. It is their sheer numbers that become the key, giving many the chance to survive the crossing. But the price of survival is painfully clear. Many will not make it across. Some are swept away by the current, others collapse right at the river's edge. In nature, such loss is part of the cycle. These sacrifices feed the predators, feed the river, and keep the Serengeti running as it always has. And on the far bank, light breaks open. The first survivors have set foot on land. They tremble, drained of strength, yet still climb the slippery slope, merging into the green ahead. In this moment, each life that endures stands as a testament to nature's astonishing resilience. But crossing the Mara is more than a biological event. It is a symbol of resilience. Generation after generation endures the same trial. The calves of today will one day grow, and in time, lead their own young across this very river. From above, the scene unfolds like a grand painting, one half of the river foaming white, the other covered in shifting dark streaks of bodies. This is the climax of the migration, where life and death meet, divided only by a single line of water. In this fierce moment, the Serengeti beats with its strongest heartbeat, a heartbeat of trial, of struggle, and of a survival instinct that never fades. As the first reach the northern bank, the chaotic rhythm of the crossing slowly fades. The splashes grow quieter, replaced by the weary footsteps of the survivors. Mud clings to their coats, their breath comes in gasps, yet their eyes shine with hope. Each one that sets foot on new ground is proof of a will strong enough to overcome the trial. This is not merely an escape, it is a rebirth. The plains ahead unfold wide and open. Recent rains have turned the land north of the Mara into sweeping fields of green. Hunger, thirst, and tension ease as the first survivors lower their heads to graze, regaining strength after the perilous journey. The atmosphere shifts quickly. From chaos and panic, it is now filled with peace. The calves, once clinging desperately to their mothers in the crossing, now leap and play freely. Their cheerful calls mingle with the whisper of the wind, creating a scene in stark contrast to the turmoil of only moments before. Life is not reborn for the wildebeest alone. The predators here, lions, leopards, even vultures, also claim their share in the cycle. The Serengeti does not deal in absolute victory or defeat. It creates balance, allowing every species to endure. In the sky above, flocks of migratory birds stretch across the horizon, silent witnesses to the trial just endured. From high above, the wildebeest form dark, winding ribbons of movement across the fresh green plains, a breathtaking canvas only nature could paint. And then, the herd gradually regains its rhythm. Group by group, they merge together, forming yet another living river, this time across the land. There are no more waves of water, but still an endless current of hundreds of thousands pressing forward. Within that flow, new lives are already on the way. This is the time when many females, heavy with pregnancy, prepare for the birthing season. The lush green pastures provide the perfect energy to nurture new life. In just a few months, the plains will be filled with the cries of newborns, signaling the continuation of the great cycle. This scene reminds us that crossing is not only about survival, it is also a powerful declaration that life will always find a way to endure, no matter the hardship. From a human perspective, the Mara crossing may seem brutal, but to nature, it is an essential chapter in the grand symphony of balance. There is no ultimate failure, no absolute victory, only a rhythm that flows on, from danger to renewal, from loss to hope. The soft wind drifts across the plains like a gentle soundtrack. After the fierce crescendo, nature restores to the Serengeti a slow, quiet melody. It is the pause that life needs to recover, so the wildebeest can continue the long journey still ahead. And this journey is far from over. In just a few months, when the grass here withers to gold, instinct will drive the herd to migrate once more. They will travel farther, seeking new lands, repeating the cycle that has played out for thousands of years. But in this moment, here in the northern Mara, life has been renewed. The wildebeest have overcome their fateful obstacle, opening a new chapter, a chapter of abundance, of birth, and of hope. The journey ahead still holds many dangers, yet it is moments of renewal like this that make the great migration of the Serengeti one of the most extraordinary stories on Earth. Across the vast savanna, as the dust slowly settles, the Serengeti returns to its natural calm. The golden glow of sunset spreads over the wide grasslands. The wildebeest, after their brutal river crossing, now stretch out like a living carpet, grazing, resting, and preparing to move on. This scene carries within it a profound message. Life never stops. The migration is an endless cycle, the very heartbeat of the entire ecosystem. Each step of the wildebeest not only forges a path for themselves, but also nourishes the land, feeding the grasses, sustaining the predators, and supporting hundreds of other creatures and birds. Each year, more than 1.5 million creatures take part in this journey. There is no leader, no map drawn, only an ancient instinct that binds them to the rhythm of rain and fresh grass. It is this very instinct that has sustained life across the Serengeti for thousands of years. For us humans, this is one of the most vivid testaments to the power of nature. In witnessing this torrent of migration, we don't just see animals on the move. We see an ecosystem in perfect motion, a symphony in which every species plays its part. The wildebeest are the protagonists of this story, but they are not alone. Zebras, with their sharp eyes for predators, and the swift Thompson's gazelles have joined the vast pilgrimage. Each species complements the others, together increasing their chances of survival. This is the very essence of symbiosis, one of the most fundamental principles of life. But behind that beauty lies a profound reminder. The Serengeti is not an unchanging land. Climate change, human expansion, and pressures of land use are gradually disrupting this ancient cycle. If the freedom to migrate is lost, this ecosystem will lose the very heartbeat that sustains it. That is why the Great Migration is not just a spectacle to behold. It is also a call to action, to protect habitats, to preserve vast lands for free movement, and to ensure that future generations can still witness this extraordinary event. From above, the final image unfolds like a painting, the wildebeest stretching all the way to the horizon. From afar, they resemble dark rivers flowing through an ocean of grass. Beneath the setting sun, the scene takes on a sacred quality, as if the whole sky and earth were moving in rhythm with their steps. In this moment, we understand. The Serengeti is not just a place. It is a heartbeat, the breath of nature, a testament to the enduring power of life. And as night falls, when the plains sink into silence, the migration goes on. Tomorrow, next week, next month, the wildebeest will keep moving forward, never stopping. This cycle, like the Earth orbiting the sun, is what keeps the Serengeti alive. The Great Migration is not only the journey of animals, it is a journey of resilience, of hope, and of the unbreakable bond that connects all living beings on this planet. As the final images fade, only one message remains. Life will always find a way. And as long as the Serengeti holds this heartbeat, the great journey will never end.